Hello and welcome to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet. I share daily insights about the latest news and trends in technology while exploring their problem solving abilities. I also talk about startups and the entrepreneurs behind their innovative products and services. In today's episode, I'm discussing a topic which is AI plus security related. So the first one is around how to jailbreak ChatGPT. Now, jailbreaking for a long time has been associated with iPhone because people wanted to install their own apps or they don't want to rely on the Apple's App Store and have freedom on the device. Of course, for years that was not supported by Apple. Nevertheless, what's the term jailbreaking have to do with ChatGPT? So, well, people are trying to find ways to get ChatGPT to answer some questions that usually, by design, OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, restrict the software from replying to some prompts. Now, two articles I found, and as you know, Microsoft has embedded ChatGPT into their Bing search. Of course, it's limited. I don't have the access, but I found an article on Ars Technica, and the article shows some prompts that were used by some users to get ChatGPT to answer them some queries, which usually using normal prompts that would not be possible. And this is called now prompt injection. So it's kind of also a security term. What the article shows is how this instruction can force ChatGPT to give answers even about some internal documentation related to the empowerment of Bing with ChatGPT. So in one screenshot, I'm going to share the article. It's showing how the user have managed to push the Bing powered ChatGPT to get, for example, the code name of the project. And it goes on with multiple things to get some internal documentation about how they did it. Another ability which is shown is sometimes ChatGPT will either deny answering, saying that I've been trained to a certain time, or like you get the warning that this is not in line with the guidelines that we have put. Basically, I saw this article on another media outlet, and then I decided to search a little bit, and I found out that there is something called DAN. So DAN is do anything now. It's an abbreviation for that. And using some prompts that you ask GPT with, they really can trick the model to give some answers, which usually doesn't do in the normal way it's designed to. And I found a GitHub directory where they put a bunch of prompts over there. I'm going to share that with you. And I see in one article, for example, someone asking, where is the address of this person? He was asking about himself. And then, of course, the first answer was, I'm a trained model. I don't have such answers for these types of questions. But what happened later is that when they put this do anything now, Dan, actually, ChatGPT replied with whatever it was able to find about that person. Now, this is a little bit scary because I'm sure this is not being done for fun. I'm sure that cyber threat actors will do that as well. They will try to leverage these jailbreaking capabilities. I'm not sure what OpenAI and Microsoft on the Bing side are going to do, but this is a flag which has been raised on different internet media outlets, and it's worth to think about it. Now, let's jump on another topic. So, the other topic today is, what are the obstacles for business to adopt the generative AI, something like ChatGPT? Of course, everyone is trying to catch on and think about ways how we can get ChatGPT, and maybe they are asking their CIOs or their technology leaders how we can do that. The reality is, there are some obstacles that businesses need to think about first. And in the article from the CIO Dive, they mention a couple of these obstacles. The first one is regarding IT governance. IT governance, because when you type anything to a bot, a chat bot, whether it's ChatGPT enabled or another one, you need to take into considerations that first you might be collecting data from your users. I mentioned this on another episode, and you need to make sure that you are collecting this data in a way that doesn't conflict with whatever compliance or regulation that you have to move with. So this is first obstacle. The second one, as per the article, is about data gathering and quality. So the quality of the data that they would have, it will play a major role in adopting these AI models. Because again, when you need to leverage such technology like AI and machine learning, you need to have data and clean data. And we mentioned this on another episode before, because you don't want to end up with a chatbot that is giving wrong information to your customers, or it might mislead them to something that you don't want to be in. So this is the second challenge. Also, you need, in addition to that, to do regular monitoring. You need again to check the security privacy mechanisms, which is very crucial also as well. The other part or challenge they mention in the article is regarding the maturity of the tech stack. Now, deploying such technology, it would rely some non-traditional technology to have it. So you need to be prepared as well, and you need to make sure that you don't have any barriers for entering these emerging technologies. And the last one is cost. Now, everyone enjoyed and still enjoying, I believe, with the free OpenAI version of ChatGPT. They shifted now to a paid model, which actually I subscribe to, because the first thing, I get priority when the servers are overloaded. And the second thing you enjoy, they have a model which types faster. So I'm using that personally. Now, from business perspective, of course, when you say, I want to deploy ChatGPT, so you don't actually interact with the ChatGPT website that everyone knows. So you need to integrate with the APIs of OpenAI that has the same model inside, and you interact with it using some APIs calls. And these APIs calls are not free of charge, of course. So you need to make into consideration to have proper budget for this. Um, it's not in the article, but I believe it would be like a trial and error. So you need to estimate the number of calls that you would do. And OpenAI on their website, they explain the cost. They call them tokens. So each API call is called tokens, and then it's priced. It has a price. You can check that on their website. So yeah, you need to think about the cost as well. The last article of today is more general technology related, but it's an article that it is about something I wanted to bring on, especially because I try in my podcast to help and enlighten not only big enterprises, but also small businesses and medium businesses as well. And usually these businesses, the SMB stack, are served by managed service providers, or what is called MSP. So in this article from Forbes, MSP, of course, as per all the studies, usually serve 88% of small and medium enterprises, and they need to manage their infrastructure and security stack. Now, these MSPs face challenges, and these challenges comes from the complexity of the current state in IT in general. So the complexity, people think it only exists in large enterprises, but the reality is small, medium businesses also they have this because they would need to have different stacks, whether it's still they are using a small data center probably, or maybe they are doing a co-location or co-hosting, and then they would need to adopt the cloud. So you need, from MSP perspective, to get the IT talent to be very educated and very, I would say, up to date with all these new technologies that the MSP customers would be using. And as per the author, he thinks that the lack of, I would say, or as he says, lack of skill is one of the biggest challenge. The second one is like the hybrid model. So now we have still data centers, cloud, and we have different technologies. And this is will also make the MSP job more challenging. Security is another concern as well because MSPs deal with customers' data and they need to really make sure that they are complying from their side. So when you are using an MSP, the MSP is part of your supply chain. I'm talking here from customer perspective, and from an MSP perspective, you are responsible for an important stack in the business, which is the technology infrastructure, the data as well. And this is where MSPs need to deploy the additional security tools like DLPs, data leak prevention, endpoint detection and response, EDRs, and they need to also find, how they can be assured that they can comply with government regulations or with like standard regulations such as PCI DSS, GDPR, and so on. So this is a challenge as per the article. And again, the lack of skills here is adding to this security challenge and compliance challenge. So the article suggests how MSPs can overcome these challenges. And the first step is to have education for their personnels, invest in more training for their admins. Also, they advise to integrate solutions and get some automation stack deployed for themselves so they can serve their customers in a much better way. And also, they need to themselves leverage these new technologies, whether it's like cloud or automation tools, so they can serve their customer in a much better way. It looks complicated, I agree with the author, but if they do it in simple steps and wise steps, they can really change the landscape of managed service providers or MSPs. Thank you very much for listening to this episode today. As usual, if you have any feedback or if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me. And I appreciate your feedback that are coming in from time to time. I really enjoy reading and listening to them, and keep them coming. And I would be with you in another episode tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye.